Hey everyone, I hope you're having an absolutely amazing day. Thank you so much for taking some time to come here and hang out with me while I chat about my favorite game right now, Marvel Rivals. I want to keep you guys updated on my rank progress, and today's update is there's no update. I am still in Grandmaster 3, and actually I have dipped back into Diamond a couple times here and then gotten back into Grandmaster. So that's just where I'm sitting right now. I started playing Rocket and taking a break from Jeff. I had people in my lobbies asking for more support-based alts that are just a little bit more straightforward on survivability, so I thought I would accommodate that and try that out for a little bit and see how that's going. Mixed results. Some wins, some losses. I had a 12-game win streak in competitive as Jeff, so maybe I'm selling myself short trying to appease the lobbies, but sometimes people are right. Sometimes you do need to make that swap. So I'm trying to be open-minded about this whole process here. So if we go back into my overview here, you'll see that my matches played and my wins are coming a little bit closer together to that 50% point, which is really, really good. But today, what we're going to talk about in this video is something similar to the previous video that I did. Now, I changed my style of video for that. I wanted to kind of feel out a different production style, or I guess level of production. It seems like you guys really liked it. I got really great feedback, so I wanted to do something like that again. So if you did not see that last video, it was all about the reasons why you might suck at Marvel Rivals. And then this video is going to be in a little bit of a similar vein, but just coming at it from a somewhat different angle. This video is about the small mistakes that you are likely making. These are just like the very common things that you probably find yourself doing and you see your teammates doing. And these small mistakes, though small, they do add up. Before we get started though, I want to talk about a few things here. The first, Discord. I've had a lot of you guys ask me about this and if I'm going to set one up so we can have a place to chat and do like, VOD reviews and team up with each other and play games together. The answer is definitely 100% yes. I've never made a Discord page before, so I just wanted to do a little bit of research on it to make sure I was setting it up correctly. Turns out it was easier than I thought it was going to be, but it is actually live right now. It's available for you guys to hop in and join and we can chat. I've got the link in the description below. I just ask that we keep the Discord as a kind, happy, friendly place, okay? No toxicity, don't be mean to people, don't be rude. If you're in a bad mood, that's fine, maybe just don't type in the Discord that day. Keep it a friendly and motivational and educational place, okay? I want it to be fun, I want it to be a good space to hang out in. The next one is merch. This is something I have never thought about before in my entire life, but I had a company reach out about it, and they're a company that does merchandise based on like fundraising campaigns. So a good portion of the profits actually goes toward fundraising. I am very passionate about ocean health and marine life conservation, so I'm very, very excited about that. I'll keep you guys up to date as I know more. Live streams. I've done one. Do you guys want me to do more live streams? I guess I haven't really had this conversation with you guys. If you want me to, let me know, and let me know what you'd want me to do. Like do a tier list, gameplay, VOD reviews, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. And then the community here. I just want to address this. Thank you guys so much for all of your support and your motivation as I've been working on this page. It's been so fun to chat with you guys and read your comments and talk back and forth about different concepts. And I just want you to know that I value your support. And last but not least, please take a moment to like and subscribe. If you have not done so yet, don't worry. I'll wait just a moment for you to do so. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right, let's get into this video. The first simple mistake that we are going to talk about is staggering. This is something that's extremely common. It happens often, and sometimes it happens whether or not you're realizing it, and regardless of rank or gaming experience as well. This is basically the situation that you are going to find yourself in when most of your team has been eliminated and you're just unaware of the fact. You still continue to push the objective or run down an elimination, but you don't have the support of the rest of your team. There's no reason to do this, right? When you get eliminated, it takes you 10 seconds to respawn, plus whatever the time is for you to get back to the rest of your team or the objective to be helping out. It's better to just wait. If you find that the whole team kind of gets eliminated in like a one here and then 5 seconds later another one and then 2 seconds later somebody else, when you end up back at the base, sometimes it's just a good idea to regroup. It's doing you no good to rush in by yourself 1v6. This is a huge problem. This topic was mentioned very, very briefly in the previous video that I did, but then Isaac Theophilus 1461 commented that maybe I should talk a little bit more about staggering. So Isaac, thank you so much for bringing this to my attention because this is a really good thing to talk about and to recognize. So I did want to give this just a little bit more space and time in this video to have that discussion. Don't stagger. Wait for your team. Wait, it's better to wait 10 seconds for your whole team to regroup and make a unified push than it is to try to pull it off yourself and then get eliminated and then wait, anywhere from 10 to 20 seconds to even get back to the fight. Because now your team's probably going to be waiting for you if they're trying not to stagger. So keep that in mind. Pay attention to what's going on with your team. You've got the elimination marker at the top right of your screen. You can see when your team gets eliminated very easily just by keeping that in the corner of your eye. So pay attention. Obviously, if you have comms, you can talk to each other and you can make sure that people are waiting, but you have all the, ability all by yourself with no comms turned on to be very aware of what's happening with your team. So take a step back, regroup, and wait to go in for the objective. It makes a huge difference. Another simple mistake that's extremely easy to make is playing around your teammates. Look, when you are choosing who you're going to play as at the beginning of the match, you don't even know who the enemy team's going to be. Don't let your teammates try and tell you who you should and should not be. Right? They don't know your skill level. They don't know who you're good with. Another thing that I see a lot is they call for the team ups, right? Storm and Jeff, Penny, Rocket, Emma, Mag, or Psylocke, Ultron, Iron Man. You don't have to do these things, okay? The team ups are helpful. They're not game breaking, really. Some of them are better than others. If you have a really good Penny, you've got like a Penny main who's asking for Rocket. That's a pretty simple one to ask for, right? Trust in that Penny. Most people know how to play Rocket. Okay. Go for it. Give it a try. The Storm Jeff team up, it's extremely expensive. You got to use 2 ults to do it. So it better land or it's just not that great, right? I mean, Storm's fantastic, Jeff's fantastic, but you don't really need the team up. You can use their ults independently of each other and still have an amazing effect. Arguably, sometimes it could be a better effect. You just don't have to do it. Emma and Mag, that's the one where I kind of feel like you should have both on your team. Truthfully, right now, you should have Mag and Emma, or Strange and Emma at least, or Mag and Strange and Emma. Why not? But Ultron and Iron Man, the Flyers, not everybody knows how to do it. It's a difficult role to play. It's good. But, Iron Man's good without Ultron, and Ultron's just fine without Iron Man too. Don't feel like you need to do something that you don't have a high skill level with, you don't have that comfortability with that hero. Don't feel like you have to be that hero because somebody else is asking for it. All you're doing at that point in time is hoping that they're going to pop and you're going to be the one that helps make that happen for them. But you have no idea what their skill level is, right? Some people just default to some of these heroes because they're just like, oh, this is the meta. I should be able to do well. Trust in yourself. Sometimes the best thing you can do is play who you are best with. Okay? Play your own game. Another mistake that I see people making is failing to acknowledge counters. We've got one sitting right here, okay? If you have a heavy flyer team, and I just saw this happen the other day in one of the games that I was playing, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. They had a heavy flyer team, and we had someone playing Squirrel Girl. What are you doing? Squirrel Girl is not good against flyers. At the very beginning of the match, you don't know who people are yet, okay? And if you want to play till the first time you get eliminated, that's fine. But then make your swap, right? They have a heavy flyer team. You probably shouldn't be Squirrel Girl. Let's hop into this video so I can show you exactly what I'm talking about. All right, guys, here is the game that I'm talking about. And look, maybe this is going to be an unpopular opinion to make this statement, but already right here, she should have turned around and gone back to the base and changed. She is already very aware, the Squirrel Girl player, I say she, referencing Squirrel Girl, is already aware that there are 2 flyers on the enemy team. You should go back and change. You are basically not going to be dealing any damage to a third of the enemy team. Why stay Squirrel Girl? And this player stayed that hero for pretty much the whole game. Made some changes toward the end. People started making some swaps. We were just absolutely getting destroyed. And look, sometimes you're just going to lose. It's the reality. Don't go into games expecting to win and then assume because somebody played somebody else, that's why you lost. No, we were going to lose. Probably. Swaps could have been made. Maybe we could have changed the outcome. I changed to Jeff. I was Rocket in the beginning. I changed to Jeff to try to bully the Flyers a little bit. It wasn't effective. I changed to Punisher toward the end to try to change as well. Changed my role completely to Duelist, but then I didn't have the healing on board. I didn't have any support to pull anything off. This was just a loss. Look, I don't want to say or make it sound right now like I'm going to say we lost this game because of Squirrel Girl, because maybe we didn't. Maybe we just lost because we just lost. My only point here is that when you notice this at the start of a game and you notice that as a Duelist player, as an example right now, that you are not going to be effective against a third of the enemy team, you probably need to change. You are hard countered and you could change to counter the Flyers, and that's what you should do if you want to make an effective swap in this game to make a difference, right? It's certainly worth giving something a shot, but don't let your pride get in the way of making you swap, okay? It's just very important to acknowledge when there's a counter present that is a counter against yourself as well as a counter against the other team. If you think for a second in this moment, what could have been done differently here? Well, Squirrel Girl could have changed to Punisher or Hela or Psylocke or Star-Lord. Anybody else that's going to help more against those flyers would have been a phenomenal choice. If I were playing in that situation, I would have just gone right back to base in the beginning, not to waste too much time. Yes, we got the first point. You could make the argument that, hey, it worked, but I'm telling you for the rest of the game, it didn't. All right, I wouldn't bring this up as a reference if it proved to be a valuable situation, but it was not. We got walked over and it was a loss. So don't fail to acknowledge counters. Here are a few simple and quick ones to think about that are very, very easily changed. And don't feel like you can't change them, okay? Luna's watching you. Playing for the memes. If you are going into competitive gameplay trying to replicate things that you are seeing on TikTok or YouTube Shorts or highlight reels from other streamers on YouTube, come into the game for the wrong reason, okay? Cool, funny, epic, insane gameplay. Things like that happen just by playing the game with the correct mindset and pushing for the objective, okay? You're gonna have things happen, but when you're trying all game just to do something, you're not playing with your team. Like, let's be real here. I had this conversation in the last video about Spider-Man players that just hide, you know, especially on like Spider Islands and just try and pull people off the game or off the map the entire game. It's not that beneficial. Like, can it work? Sure, okay, it can, but more often than not, in my experience, I do not see that working. So just play with your team. Help the objective, help them to accomplish what you're trying to do, which is win, not just get a compilation of pulling people off the map clips so you can make a YouTube short. Pushing for stats. You're going to get stats by pushing for the objective, okay? This is a conversation that I have often in videos and in comments with people. Everyone wants to argue, just as a blanket statement, that stats are important. Stats are the most important thing in the game. And okay, to a degree, maybe yes, because you do have to have stats. You're going to get stats by playing the game. It's like you can play a whole game and just have zeros across the board and win. But you will get stats by just holding the objective, okay? Don't wait gameplay on just trying to get stats. I can't say it enough. And this is not, somebody in the comments yesterday said, oh, sounds like this video is coming from a strategist main. Because I'm saying that, like, pushing for kills isn't like what you need to be doing, or that stats aren't as relevant as you might think. That's a silly thing to say. It doesn't matter what role you play, you're going to get stats. Playing as Jeff, I rack up the stats. I get MVP as Jeff because he's like weighted to get it. So it's not like I'm saying that because I'm not getting stats, so I'm trying to make myself feel better about it. It's because it depends on how you are getting the stats. Getting some random kill, trading an elimination with somebody far away from the objective, and now it's just 5v5, like there's no value there. That's a worthless stat. That's what I'm trying to say. There are stats that make a difference, that are gained by having impact on the game, and then there are stats that are really just irrelevant and potentially just a waste of time. Having tunnel vision. You need to zoom out, open your eyes, see the full picture. It's not black and white, right? There are so many ways to play this game, so many team compositions that can work super well. Play those compositions. Be open-minded about how you approach the game, how you approach your team ups, how you approach fighting against the other team for the objective. Change the angles that you're fighting from. Do something different in the game. Don't just go to the same spots all the time. Break away from your default locations for fighting. Find some new areas of the map to work. It will help you a lot. I would say that having an expectation of what's going to happen is also a mistake. Never assume anything about this game, about your teammates, about your gameplay, about the enemy team, okay? Flyers. Don't assume that people are going to deal with them. This is maybe one of the biggest problems that I see, and we just saw that with that previous game that I showed you with Squirrel Girl. She should have swapped. And like I said, it was okay in the clip. Everything was fine in the clip, but down the road in the video, it was bad. It was really bad. Don't assume that someone's going to deal with the flyers. If you don't see it being dealt with, don't push other people to do it. Maybe make the swap yourself. Have somebody else switch to a healer if you're playing healer. Have somebody else swap to tank if you know the DPS players that you have don't want to, or they say they can't do it, or they can't play those. That's okay. At least pick someone where you can apply some pressure. Jeff is a great way to apply pressure to flyers. He can hit them from a distance. The water stream deal, just constantly taking away. Sometimes that pressure is enough to help somebody else just get that one or two hits on them that's going to end up in the elimination happen. They have to be dealt with. Don't assume somebody else is going to do it, because I've done that before and people don't. They don't deal with the flyers, so take things into your own hands. For the healers, don't underestimate the enemy healers and don't overestimate your own. If you're playing tank, make sure that you're positioning well, or even as a duelist or another strategists on your team. Make sure that you are in sight of your other healer, and make sure that you're letting them know when you need healing and you're making yourself available for that to happen for you. Not all tanks can recognize the ebb and flow of the battle because they're right in it. It can be harder to see exactly what's unfolding, so good communication there is important. And if you don't want to speak, you can use the in-game commands for retreat. It's very easy to do. If you don't know how to do that, you can look it up in your game settings and figure out how to do that. It's just like, a button press basically. Help your tanks out by either making sure that you are pushing with them or helping them realize when it might be time to back up a little bit. And passive play. Don't ever go into a game expecting to get carried, expecting the enemy team to be doing or not. Passive play. Never expect to get carried in your game. Don't go into it thinking your teammates are just gonna plow through everything. You need to go into those games. I suppose I would say that the one thing that you should expect of yourself is that you are going to go into a game and you're going to give it your all. You're going to go into that game with the mentality that it's you that has to make the difference to get the victory. Trust me, if you do that, it will make a big difference in your gameplay. It doesn't matter what your role is. You can have a game-changing impact if you have the mentality that you are the one that has to do it. Don't count on your teammates to do it. This one's a really big deal. Rushing the use of ultimates. This is something that I see quite often, to be honest. Don't feel like you have to use it because you got it. I understand that you don't want to save an ult for too long because then maybe you could have gotten a second one. There is a min-max conversation to be had about using ults, but you also don't want to use it when the value's not there. And there are a few things that you need to consider. One is positioning. Are you and your team positioned well to get value? Is your team ready for this ult to happen? This is something that we see especially with strategist ults, right? Don't just use a strategist ult or a support ult because you have it. Use it when the time is right. You need to be thinking about your opportunity. Is this going to improve the advantage you currently have against the enemy team, or is it going to combat a current disadvantage that you have? And that's going to come with point number 3, enemy ults. Star-Lord, let's say for an example, his ult is basically just erased, right? By using magnetos, using rockets as an example as well. He can't deal damage through those. So if you know that there's a Star-Lord on the other team and you're playing as Rocket, let's say, you could just strategically wait to throw up your ult when he puts his ult up and protect your team. This is a really, really important thing to be considering when you're using ults. And I think it's a little bit more of a conversation. This specifically is more of a conversation when it comes to the strategist ults, when it comes to the support ults, because obviously with, let's say Punisher, obviously you don't want to use that ult when you don't have anything to gain for it, or you're already getting, nailed by the other team and you might just die while you're using it, or you don't have the supports behind you to make sure that you can't get targeted and eliminated once you get your ult going. They're, focus healing you, pocket healing you. It's a little bit different using that ult than it is using Invisible Woman's ult, because you don't want to use that ult unless your team is ready for a push. You're ready to overtake an objective, or you need to counter another strategist ult. So you really need to be thinking about those things. And the last one is just straight up need. Does your team need you to do this ult right now, or can it wait a second? Analyze the situation, try and use it as best as you can, and it can make a world of a difference. I played a game just the other day where we had an Adam on the other team that was on point. Let's just say that. He was good. I was playing as Rocket, and I started strategically using my ult to counter his, and it worked very well. Let's hop in the video real quick so I can show you what I'm talking about. Okay, here's instance number 1. We just effectively took out a couple people on their team, and you're going to hear Adam's ult go off right now. This happened previously in this match, and I learned instantly from that moment I need to bait his out before I use my ult so I can counter it. So I started saving my ult for those moments. Right here, we take out their Rocket's ult. There's Adams going off right now. Here comes the rest of their team back to counter us. I get my beacon down, ready for this fight, and then I pop my ult here too so we can effectively counter them. Because right now they don't have anything. They used their invis. Their Magneto used his. Adam used his. This is our opportunity to make an extremely effective push. And it worked. And now, the very next time I got an ult, I held it again because I knew he was going to do it on a team wipe. He was very good at timing things and being positioned well to do this. So I waited. I held my ult. We're making this push very successfully. And you hear the cue right there. There it is. I place my ult here to counter it right away. And it becomes an extremely effective positioning ult. Plus they couldn't see it. Where I placed it was actually a really good location. It's barely even taking any damage. And we were able to clear their entire team. Again, that's 2 team wipes back to back. And this resulted in us being able to get the final point. So those are prime examples of not rushing the ults and saving them for the right moment so they have the greatest impact. The final mistake that I see people making is not giving themselves grace, okay? Don't come into this game expecting to be the best. Don't question yourself as to why you can't be the best. I can tell you right now why, honestly, the number one reason you are probably not at the same level as these streamers, it's time spent. If you have not turned gaming into at least some form of a career or something, right? Some of these streamers, like this is how they make their living, right? They can play all day. This is their job. I can't play all day. Most of us can't play all day. If you can play 12 hours a day, you're probably going to be one of the best, right? But in my reality here is I can play, a couple hours a day. I can't even play every day, right? I would like to, but I can't. So I likely will not develop the same like mechanical skill or game sense or awareness for this game as the people that I watch on YouTube or the top tier gameplay that I watch. So keep that in mind. Rank status also has a high impact on things. I know that high elo gameplay might look similar to how your games feel, but you take one of those higher elo gamers, you put one of, somebody in one above all, you put them into a plat lobby, they're going to destroy that lobby. Everyone in one above all is so good that it kind of almost might look a little similar, right? Obviously some of like the plays can be insane, or like the multi-elims and stuff might be wild to watch, but like overall the gameplay doesn't really look too dissimilar. But trust me, it feels different. Game experience too comes into play. Have you played other hero shooters like this? This is my first hero shooter, my first true hero shooter. So I remind myself of that all the time. Like if I do find myself getting frustrated by gameplay or something like that, it's like, I didn't play Overwatch. This is brand new to me. I am still learning. I'm still developing the mechanical skills, the timing, when to use specific skills in different circumstances. I also haven't mastered every, style of play here. I haven't played, there are some heroes in this game that I haven't even played a game with. That's the truth. And a lot of you are probably in the same, the same space as me in that regard. Until you've like really gotten a good grasp of like everyone in the game, I don't feel like you can like truly master anything, because you really need to know what to expect from the enemy team and what their heroes are doing so you can time things appropriately. Like there's a whole, mathematical system behind that, right? Timing of things and understanding how the characters work. So if this is your first hero shooter, don't be too hard on yourself. Also, the support system. Playing with a full team is very different than playing all by yourself. Playing with good comms is very different than playing with toxic communication or no communication at all. Keep that in mind. If you can put together a good team of 6 people in total and you can play together all the time, now you can start to develop some strats. You can play together. You know what to expect from your teammates, what you can count on them to do, and what you need to bring to the table. It totally changes the gaming experience. Playing solo queue it's the Wild West, man. So give yourself some grace. Last but not least, thank you guys so much for tuning into this video. This is a really fun one for me to make. If you have not subscribed yet, please do so. Throw a like on the video, turn on notifications as well. And if you have an idea for another video that you would like to see me do, let me know in the comments. Drop some ideas. Let me know what you're thinking about these videos now, how I'm putting things together. And any advice, any commentary on this, any form of communication that would help me to improve the way that I am presenting and creating content for you guys, I welcome very much so. Please take a moment, hop into the description and join the Discord. I'm very excited to have that up and running and to be able to have a space where I can connect with you guys more in real time, right? I don't always see comments right away, but I will keep a close eye on the Discord for sure. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate your time. I'll see you in the next video.